Hey y'all, this is Nia Tate. Welcome to my channel. Hope all is well with you. I am here to do a review on Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 3, Episode 12. So, we start the episode off with everyone getting gathering their stuff together because it is time to go home. Before that, the fellas, Marceau, Maurice, and Martell, have breakfast together. They're Marceau has cooked some steaks, I think. He was like, I'm not leaving these steaks here. So he was, they were trying to eat the food that I guess they had bought and everything. And Lewis wasn't with them. I don't know why, but it was just those three. Um, I don't know if they were trying to send Lewis a message or not because remember from last episode, Marceau had made the comment about pillow talking. So I guess I guess they told Lewis you can't sit with us because you run your mouth too much. I don't know, but they were talking, and Maurice, of course, that's Marceau's his brother, so he's a bit concerned. He brought up the whole thing about what Marceau had mentioned about being depressed the night before, and Martell was saying, that it had been definitely a rough year for him, also, of course, with his everything going on with him and Mel, and he was like, I'm probably depressed myself, and so Marceau was saying that he he just feels like he can't get everything done. Like it's all work, and he says that like he can tell what time of the day it is by everything that he has to do. It seems like he has some anxiety, like in addition to that. But um, he was saying that he just if he's somewhere, if he's this place, he's always his mind is always thinking I should be working on this also, like so yeah, he has some things going on, but um he seems to be, I don't know, trying to diminish it, or not really embrace the fact that there is something wrong. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So next we have Kimmy. Kimmy goes in to talk with Tisha, um, before they leave, and she was asking her about the situation at the chapel, at the wedding chapel. She said, "Did that bother you that that Marceau didn't want to do the vow renewal?" And Tisha was like, "Well, yeah, she wouldn't really say that it did, um, but." She said she did also bring up about, you know, how they had went to counseling. She said, we've had a rough couple of years. And she said, that's why I wanted to go to counseling because I just feel like, you know, we need some help, and we need to get it together. And it's funny because when she mentioned those last 3 years, that's about how long the show has been on. And I think what happened, a part of it is that Tisha probably saw herself on that first season and didn't really like what she saw. I mean, say what you want about Tisha, she has college degrees, and apparently she was, she had a career before they got married. And one of the things that really stuck out was that she wanted to go back to work during the first season, and he was very against that. And that's another thing with Marceau. I'm like, if you would let Tisha go to work full time, you wouldn't have the weight of the world on you. And I think sometimes as men, some men feel like, oh, I gotta handle this all myself. But you have a woman who is educated, who has went to college, got several degrees. I think she even has a real estate license and stuff. So she definitely could be contributing to the household. What's wrong with that? You know, but he don't see it that way. So yeah, that's what she was telling Kimmy. That she really wants to spend more time with Marceau, and he just doesn't see that. She said she hate traveling alone with the kids, like she told him. And so they had a really nice conversation, and they hugged it out. And they said that they were gonna leave any issues that they had in Vegas. So Tiffany and Lou are talking, and Tiffany tells Lou that Destiny did pull her aside the night before and told her that she wanted to. She said, maybe they showed the flashback. Maybe we could, get together and decide. Have a conversation about what is the issue between us. And try to work on our relationship. So I was like, okay, Destiny, that was big of you. And so Tiffany said, sure, maybe we can go get our nails done or go, to the spa. So we'll see how that works out. They're going to try to meet up and work on their relationship. So next we get a scene. They're back in Huntsville. And we have a scene with Tiffany goes over to Mel's office. And Tiffany said that she hadn't heard from Mel. They've been back apparently, I guess, a week or so or something like that. And she said, I haven't heard from Mel. So um, a lot went on in Vegas. So I just want to catch up with her. And then I also wanted to talk to her about the interns that she wanted. So she goes over there. Mel has her God Says Go apparel, all her t-shirts and hats and everything. Um, so that's what she was working on, her inventory. And so they start talking, and Mel said actually that Tiffany had, I think, text her, and she said, oh, you had text me and I apologize, I didn't text you back, but girl, I had to look after that trip in Martell. I had to really just kind of go inside myself and get my energy right, because I was all off. I was all off of my energy after all of that whole fiasco and all that drama in Vegas. So then she says, yeah, Tiffany said, yeah, I know there was a lot of drama going on too. Um, and Mel said, yeah. She said, oh, by the way, I want to apologize because I know Destiny said that she was going to drag you, and I want to apologize on her behalf. I said, now, Mel, stop doing that. Don't be apologizing for people. I mean, she just act like Tiffany don't do nothing. Like she didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm not saying Destiny should have said she was gonna drag the girl, but it didn't come from out of nowhere. I I get it. But anyway, so um that was that for their scene. Next we have um a scene where Kimmy and Kimmy and Maurice and Marcel and Tisha go out to dinner, and Kimmy said that she, her, like her, Tisha had talked, and Tisha had said for her to, stay in touch with her and to, reach out to her more. So she said, well, so I called them and asked them to meet us for dinner. So they all went out for dinner, and it's so funny because when they walked in, Kimmy was saying, "Girl, because Tisha had her hair up, she said, "Oh, you look like Wanda." And she said, Tisha said, I do. She said, when I was looking in the mirror with my hair up, I said the same thing. And that's funny because in the scene where they were still in Vegas and her and Kimmy were talking right before they left, I was thinking, I said, dang, Tisha looked like Wanda today. I didn't really see it when they all went out to dinner. And then, of course, Marcel gonna make a joke talking about, that's not something I ever want to imagine. So, they start having a conversation, and of course it gets to because Kimmy says they also kind of wanted to check on Marceau. It's kind of a twofold meeting, because of what he had said about being depressed. So they start talking about it, and Marceau is like, well, because he had mentioned to the guys, he said he's been feeling like that for about a year. So they start talking about it, and he says that it's just he's always been busy. He's been working 3 jobs since he's been 16 or something like that. And he was saying, we grew up poor, and I think what it is, well, he's giving all these examples, but what he's saying is, I'm not going to do anything about it. And so Tisha's like, well, why not? Why don't you, go talk to somebody or something? No, I'm not going to do anything about it. I think once this project ends, then, I think it's just a phase that I'm going through. And he said it, and then after that, if I'm still feeling this way, then I'll deal with it. But I don't really think it's that serious. And so all of them are telling him that that's not how he should approach this, because like Kimmy made a great point. She said, I'm as a clinician, people don't just throw out that they're depressed for no reason, and for them to not want somebody to say something about it. In other words, people do kind of cries for help, you know what I mean? So now he's trying to backpedal and kind of say, oh, it's not that bad, or I'm just gonna wait it out. And he's so doggone stubborn, you know um that he doesn't want to, it's going to almost take, and I don't want to wish anything bad on him, but it probably, sometimes for men and some women, some people, it takes something happening, like they say, God will get your attention one way or another. Sometimes it'll take something happen to make you slow down. And so Tisha was like, I didn't even know you were going through this, and I feel as your wife that you would have discussed it with me. And so Kimmy said, well, maybe he needs a counselor, somebody to talk to. And Tisha was like, well, he should be able to talk to me about it. So Kimmy said, well, sometimes it's the spouse. And so in a confessional, Tisha was like, really, Kimmy? We just getting back on good terms and you throwing shade. So now you trying to say it's my fault that that Marceau is depressed? That's not what she was saying, Tisha. She was being honest that he probably does need a counselor. That way he can talk about all of his feelings. Just like when you have a journal or you write in a diary, you can just be honest about your feelings, because it could be your spouse that's getting on your nerves that day or for this point in time. So he's still like, not getting it. So Maurice says, we both grew up the same type of way. How about this? How about this? How about we go to counseling together? And you know what Marceau said? Oh no, I'm not willing to do that. Oh no. So, and then Tisha said something else. Tisha said, so who do you open up to? Because you don't open up to me. She said, do you open? She asked Maurice, she said, do you open up to, does he open up to you? Maurice said, he don't tell me nothing. He don't open up to me at all. I said to myself, he probably does he open up to his other old lady? I'm just saying. Is it the stress of trying to juggle somebody else? What's going on, Marceau? I don't understand. You definitely need counseling. He definitely needs counseling, and I think he has a fear of being poor again. And that's easy to understand. And I also think, because he made a point, he was like, we work and work and work for this stuff, and then we get it, and it's kind of like, is it worth it? Is it worth me working this hard? I've heard people say that before, that sometimes you work so hard for a goal, and then when you get it, you're still not happy. So maybe he definitely needs to speak with someone and try to, get to the root of the problem. But I don't know at this point if what's going to make him actually do this. Because, Tisha was upset. She was like, I don't want anything to happen to you, if you get sick, or, you have a breakdown or something. And, it's going to affect us and the kids. That's why I'm trying to get to some understanding. So they just left it like that for right now, so I guess we'll see. But I thought that was really, good of Maurice to say he would even go with him to counseling. And he still don't want to go. So we have a scene next with Lewis. Martell brings Martell Jr. over to Lewis's facility. I think he has like a sports facility and stuff, and he's so cute, the little boy, Martell Jr. So they trying to show him, how to play baseball or whatever. So the kids, Lewis's kids, are there too. So they step away for a little bit and they have a conversation. And Lewis kind of really impressed me with this whole conversation, because I know last week I kind of looped Lewis in with Tiffany. But I feel like when Lewis is talking to people, he honestly wants to help. I do get that genuineness from him. Whereas when Tiffany doing it, it seemed like she throwing shade. Maybe it's just her tone. I don't know exactly what it is, but that's what I get from her. But anyway, he and Martell are having a conversation. So Martell starts, he starts to tell him. He said, what is it between you two? He said, that whole situation, y'all arguing and stuff. He said, but I'm gonna be honest, you lost your cool. You lost, you really did lose your cool. And Martell is like, yeah, I know, but it's certain triggers, and she knows how to really get to me. And Lewis said, I understand that, but you have to get to a point. He said, look, I've been where you are. I've been divorced. He said, you have to learn to control yourself and not let it get to that level. So I thought that was some good advice. So then Martell throws out, well, I've been talking. I talked to Mel. I've something that she does. She has so many babysitters for the kids, and it really bothers me. And I reached out to her about that. And I've talked. No, he didn't say it. He said, and it really bothers me. So Lewis said, well, have you talked to her about it? He said, yeah, I talked to her about it a couple of times. He's like, she's just so busy. She always so busy. She got so much things going on, and I just feel like I don't want babysitters raising our kids. So I've been really thinking about asking for full custody of the kids, and then that way I could arrange my schedule, and then um we wouldn't have all those, babysitters and stuff. So Lewis said, okay, so what do you think she's gonna say? He gonna say, Martell gonna fix his mouth to say, well, I don't know, maybe she would just agree to that. Daggone well, Melanie and I can agree with that because it's some BS. Trash. He works on my nerves sometimes. So Lou was like, well, I don't, and I think you need to be prepared. As a mother, I don't think she's gonna really go for that. And regardless of how, you just need to approach just approach the situation calmly. With a cool head. So Lou was trying to give him some good advice, but Lou, you don't know who you're dealing with. You dealing with Martell. He is just, So the next scene we have is where Mel and Martell meet up because he wants to discuss with her about the children and the babysitter situation. And Mel was looking cute. I liked her hair. She had that blue was really pretty on her, and whatever jeans or whatever she had on, honey, Mel was cute. She looked good. Okay, and so he was looking at her head to toe. Did y'all see him looking at her when she walked in? I say, I see you. He still love Mel. He's so. That's why he do that kind of stuff. So she sit down and he's like, they went to like a little coffee, tea place or whatever. He had ordered some green tea, and he said, "Mel, do you want something? You want something to drink or whatever?" She said, "No, I'm fasting today." I said to myself, I know that's right, Mel. Girl, you got to fast and pray for him. I know. I bet she said, Lord, I got to meet up with him. I don't want to see this man, but I got to meet up with him. Let me fast and pray, and Lord, give me strength. Because she knew it was going to be about some mess. So then he starts to talking about, well, they kind of start talking about their trip and kind of where it went wrong. And Mel was like, well, do you know what triggered you? They both really triggered each other, but he was like, she's like, we, at first everything was okay, and then everything went left. And he said, I know. He said, when you first got there, I was happy to see you. And she said, oh, you was happy to see me. He said, oh, I shouldn't have said that. She said, well, no, if that's the way you felt. Them two together was a mess. Oh, Lord have mercy, they are a mess. So then he goes into the whole talking about you have, I think he said like 10. Do you have like 10 babysitters for the kids? And she said, I do not have no 10 babysitters for the kids. I have 2. Okay, so he's like, well, I have it on my phone. So then he pulls out the text messages. Well, one day you had like 3 different people keeping the kids, because you were doing different things. And Mel said, well, your cousin was one of them because you were busy doing something else. So I guess what Mel was saying, and I don't know how, I don't know. I mean, I understand what she's saying. Is a babysitter a family member? Like if a family member keeping your child for you to go do something, is that really a babysitter? Because he trying to put a he trying to add on to it when it's really not like that. And what I also want to say is that Mel is working. She not out here playing. The way he making it seem is like, oh, she just too busy for the kids. Like she out here, like she being irresponsible or something. Mel is working because evidently you wasn't pulling your full load. So of course she got 4 kids. She got to do what she got to do for her kids. And some of it she said was her and he's like, well, did your brother have the kids? She said, yes, we went to Atlanta. I had some kind of meeting or presentation to go to. Their children stayed with him for maybe like 3 hours. Then I came back and got the kids and we went swimming. So I don't understand what the problem is, Martell. You full of ish, and you know you are. This woman is out here. You trying to make her look real bad. And what I want to know is how you gonna have 4 kids, 5, really 5 kids, and how you gonna work and take care of 5 kids and not have any help or any babysitter or anything like that? I would have understood it more if he would have said, "Okay, I want some stability. Do we need to hire a nanny? That way we have one person." But the way he's trying to make it say is that she shouldn't have any help at all, and it's not gonna work like that. Cause I guarantee you, if when he have those kids on the weekend, his mama just had to keep the kids for him to go on the trip because he needed that check from OWN TV. So what are you talking about? So they just went back and forth, and it was just getting heated. And Mel was like, "Look, just file a motion. Just file a motion." Okay, I'm not gonna talk about this with you no more because we already talked about this. And what you're doing is, you know, she said every time she goes out of town or something, anytime she tells him anything, he keeps track of it, like, because he's trying to use it against her. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, Mel. That's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. So I don't think a judge would give him full custody anyway. Go sit down, Martell. Ain't nobody playing with you. Just go sit down. But I'm glad that Mel got up and just walked away because it was starting to escalate. And just walk away. Let him go ahead and file a motion, and the judge gonna be like, "Nah, sir, that's not gonna work." So that was it for the episode. I'm glad that they are back in Huntsville and that the trip is over. We can move on to other things. They did show like a brief trailer at the end of the episode, and ooh wee, y'all, it's gonna be some trouble. It's gonna be some mess. Miss Wanda gonna be on there. Mel Mama, Martell Mama. It's gonna be look like the mama's gonna be getting into it. Child, we gonna have to see what's going on. Thank you so much for listening to my review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and comment below. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.